I issued an ultimatum to my boyfriend and it backfired. I, 24 female, told my boyfriend, 24 male, I needed him to change or we would break up. And I genuinely thought I was doing the right thing. But instead, he ended the relationship right there. And now I'm sitting here wondering if I completely misjudged everything. We had been together for about 8 to 9 months. At first, he felt like a really good match. He was passionate, emotionally intelligent, very thoughtful. But over time, I started noticing something different. He wasn't just deep or introspective. It was constantly pessimistic. Ooh. Not in a casual way, but in a worldview kind of way. Okay. He talked about sadness like it was something meaningful, almost beautiful. And he often used his Portuguese word saudade to describe his deep emotional melancholy.
Melancholy?
Melancholy, yes. At first, I thought it was interesting, but eventually I started feeling like he was stuck in it. As time went on, I started wondering about his mental health. That makes sense. That checks.
Yeah.
Because from my perspective, he wasn't just expressing emotions, he was living inside it. He was studying cultural trauma, Holocaust history, really heavy academic work. And I started feeling like it was affecting him more than he realized. I started feeling like it was consuming him. So I suggested therapy, not as an insult, but as support. But every time I brought it up, he shut it down. He said he was fine, that he didn't see sadness as something negative, that life is melancholic and that's just reality. Nah. And I started feeling frustrated because I didn't understand how someone could be okay staying in that emotional state. Eventually, it built up. And I told him if he didn't try to address this, I didn't think I could stay in the relationship. I basically gave him an ultimatum: change this or I'm out. And I thought that would push him to reconsider, but instead, he immediately said no. He said he wasn't unhappy, he didn't need therapy, and if this was a requirement for this relationship, then we were done. Just like that.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't handle it well. I got emotional. I told him that I felt like he was hiding behind this idea of saudade and using it to justify being unhappy. He told me I was being culturally insensitive. Wow, I didn't know a whole culture will be like that. Like, is he a ranch or something? And suddenly the conversation wasn't about mental health anymore. It was about identity, perspective, and respect. And within minutes, it was over. No longer fight, no slow breakdown, just done. Now I'm sitting here trying to process what happened because part of me still thinks I was trying to help him, but another part of me wonders, did I cross the line? Was I trying to fix something that wasn't broken in his eyes, or was I right to be concerned and just went about it the wrong way? That's messing with me the most is there was good in the relationship, real good, but I think we were starting to see life in completely different ways. For him, sadness wasn't something to escape. For me, it was something you're supposed to work through and process and move on from and wait for the next thing to happen or whatever. And I don't know if that's difference is something that you can actually compromise on. So now I'm left with a question I can't answer. Did I lose someone I should have tried harder to understand? Or did I leave a relationship that was already fundamentally incompatible? You know what I'm wondering? Because she's saying that they only had what was it, 8 to 9 months ago? 8 to 9 months.
Yeah, better. It's very small time.
I'm thinking like they just started hanging out with each other and he's already showing nice days. Could it be that that's just generally his
his
whole way of being, his way of being. Because a long time ago, I read a study that says that your threshold of happiness is determined genetically by the way that you are. Like, there are people who they could be rich and have everything and still may like meh, or be like whoa, or be like life is over, you know.
Yeah.
And then there are people who it doesn't matter how bad things are, they're like on this enthusiastic perspective. And yeah, you know, she is obviously pinning him based on what he shows her. So I'm wondering if it is an incompatibility and this is just the way he is and he's not willing to just change it. Like, is it?
Yeah. Well, he's like he's reading and consuming all of this stuff that includes sadness. So like it's very interesting to see how like, and this is an example of that, how people do really get consumed with what they see and how it could really impact and influence your relationships. Yes, clearly we see it here that he is immersing and taking all of these things and just making it part of his life rather than
An extension of
yeah, exactly. So it's just like, wow, like, you know, like, and you can see he's kind of like emotionally not there with considering how she feels, you know?
everything he passes. It's just sadness. And through like life is just man, you know, like this. So you just have to deal with the sad part of it. You know, French out the cigarette again. I was talking to someone a long time ago about how to control certain aspects of yourself when you're at work professionally. And maybe it does apply with life, but like, this is where I think in my head, I am the boss, right? And then I have these multiple feelings. I have sadness, rage, ego, you know,
Emotions, yeah.
yeah, another happiness, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And when something happens at work, all of these things are like my committee. I talk to all of them, but none of them get to take the wheel and say sadness comes and just takes the wheel of it. No, no, no. I take everyone's point of view and then I process it. And the me in my head, the boss, is the one that decides how that comes out. And I'm wondering if in his case, the whole committee is just sad.
Yeah, for real.
The whole committee is like advising him and it's all just sad. Or, you know, he got the other guys, but the other guys don't matter, you know, like,
Yeah.
So I feel like when you process in life everything, all of these feelings that you have are not supposed to be your main center of attention or like the one that takes
Control. Yeah, like the whole wheel. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like inside out. Every no, yeah, like oh my god, I mean, they have watched it.
It's like you have all these feelings, but you cannot let only one take the wheel and then decide that this is who represents you. That's crazy.
Tomorrow, tomorrow's episode, stay tuned. We got our raw confessions saying, I confess to cheating, but I wasn't ready for his response. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Hello, V.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.